Hello and welcome to another reaction, guys. Yay! Today we're gonna watch a video. It's another Fern video. I just stumbled across it and I wanted to wait a second. Wanted to watch it with you. It is called The Largest Weapon Ever Built. Sounds crazy, right? It's probably not the largest weapon ever built. I don't know. We'll see. It's a very large weapon, you know? I only saw the thumbnail. Let's check it out and see how it is. It's only 10 minutes long, so let's go.
This is the largest weapon the world has ever seen.
Okay, that's a
This
chonker.
is the size of a tank.
What the
That's
fuck?
a human. And this is the size of the weapon's ammo.
No fucking way. What? That's bigger than a human. One bullet?
The Nazis called it Heavy Gustav.
Oh, the Nazis again. Heavy Gustav.
1,350 tons of steel, a 32-meter barrel, and 47 kilometers of shooting range. It took 4,000 workers just to set it up, and another 1,500 soldiers to operate it. We dug deep into the archives to bring you the story of this monstrosity. A megalomaniac weapon commissioned by no other than Adolf Hitler himself. But
Wait, did they use this in the war? No, right? I've never heard of this weapon before. Have you heard of it?
unlike many of his rather delusional projects, this one was actually brought to life.
What?
Heavy Gustav was deployed in battle.
How have I never heard of this before?
1937. Adolf Hitler is neck deep in preparations for his war. But one thing is keeping him up at night. The Maginot Line along the French-German border. A massive array of heavily armed and fortified concrete strongholds. To break through the solid line of defense, he needs something new, something big. So he orders Krupp Steelworks, the weapons forge of the German Reich, to build the largest cannon the world has ever seen. Hitler wants it to be ready by 1940. The project is...
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but did the Germans not walk around the Maginot Line? They kind of like walked around it, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they got around and attacked France from the other side, or from the north.
top secret. Under no circumstances must the plans fall into the hands of the enemy. Internal documents refer to the cannon only as the Gustav device. Choosing cute names for heavy artillery is a long-standing German tradition. Other examples are Karl Morder or Big Bertha. Spring 1940. Hitler is eager to finally invade France, ideally with his new superweapon leading the way. But Heavy Gustav is not ready yet, and the Führer is furious. In the end, the Nazis decide to bypass the Maginot Line altogether by invading France through the densely wooded Ardennes in Belgium.
Oh, see? Through Belgium, yes. So they just like invaded through the Ardennes, yes. I remember.
A year later, the cannon is finally ready. It's a railway gun, designed to move along twin sets of parallel tracks. It weighs 1,350 tons and rolls on 40 axles and 80 wheels. It stretches nearly 50 meters long and stands as tall as a 4-story building. Its caliber has a diameter of 80 centimeters. The ammo shells weigh up to 7 tons each. This is one of them. A tank-busting projectile capable of tearing through 6 meters of reinforced concrete. And this is you working on a beach with AnyDesk. AnyDesk is a remote access software that lets you...
What the fuck was that segue? That was just... What the fuck? What? Okay, that was the weirdest segue into an advertisement I've ever seen.
You connect to your computer from anywhere, securely, smoothly, and quickly. It literally feels like you're sitting right at the machine. It's ultra fast with near zero latency, so there's no annoying lag. File transfers happen directly, no cloud delays, no middlemen. It works on almost everything: Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, etc. And with 99.98% uptime, your connection is rock solid no matter where you are. You can troubleshoot your grandma's old PC, transfer files, or say, remotely edit. That's how we use AnyDesk. It's just a game changer when you need a powerful machine for your work but want to chill here or here or here for a change. The applications are limitless. Try AnyDesk today. It's completely free for personal use. Just go to anydesk.com/fern or scan the QR code on screen. Okay, back to Heavy Gustav. Tests are run to probe its unprecedented destructive power.
Look at this shit. They have to literally build like a second railway line just to move that weapon. It can't even be moved without being on two railways next to each other, parallel. That's so crazy. That's basically, you have to build infrastructure to just move one weapon.
Each shot leaves craters up to 32 meters deep and just pulverizes massive concrete walls. But by the time the cannon is ready, France has already fallen.
Now that I think about it, sorry that I pause so much. Now that I think about it, it's completely stupid to build something like this, right? First and foremost, they're so immobile. You have to like build like infrastructure to move them from point A to point B, and they're such easy targets for like, I don't know, bombers, planes from the sky, right? They can just drop bombs on it or whatever, and that's also much more efficient. If you drop a bomb from a plane, it just does so much more damage to like enemy infrastructure, right? Than this weapon, I assume. But maybe it shoots like very far and you can't really reach it other than with a plane. And if you get some like anti-aircraft bullshit around it, maybe it works. I don't know. I don't know much about war though.
For Hitler, there's still another battlefront. 1942. The Nazis have conquered vast stretches of the Soviet Union as part of Operation Barbarossa. But the Soviet forces are still fiercely holding on to one particular place, Sevastopol, then known as the world's strongest fortress. The city is defended by over 100,000 Russian soldiers, shielded behind 5 meters of concrete walls or hidden in bunkers buried 30 meters underground.
It's like the Helms-Klamm battle.
Hitler desperately needs a win. And Heavy Gustav could be the key to breaking through. But getting the massive cannon onto the battlefield is no simple task.
Yeah, I
Gustav
can imagine.
has to be disassembled, loaded onto 5 separate trains carrying a total of 100 cars, and dragged through Poland. Once it reaches the front, the next challenge is finding the perfect spot to set it up. Reconnaissance planes are sent to scout the ideal firing position. It has to be far enough from enemy artillery to stay out of range. Eventually, they settle on a site about 25 kilometers from Sevastopol. Setting Gustav up is no small feat either. Soldiers have to lay 1,200 meters of railway tracks. And there's a unique challenge, the so-called firing curve. The barrel itself can't be rotated to attack new targets. 2 massive diesel locomotives have to carefully shift the entire weapon along the tracks to adjust its aim. Secrecy is critical.
That just goes to show what a megalomaniac Hitler was, right? This is so inefficient and so stupid, but he just wanted it to be big and impressive and like, you know, it's so stupid. And it wastes so much soldiers' time, energy, resources, everything. But he just needs this to be a thing because in his brain, he wants the biggest weapon, you know? Everything has to be the biggest.
Critical too. Soldiers have to build artificial hills and trenches to camouflage the weapon and keep it hidden from enemies. But Heavy Gustav also has to remain invisible from above, which is why the Nazis have brought a 500-man special unit called the Smoke Troop. If need be, they can shroud the entire area in a thick cloud of smoke to conceal the weapon from enemy aircraft. All in all, the operation requires over 5,000 people.
What the
Laying
fuck?
tracks, assembling the cannon, maintaining, guarding and camouflaging it, creating smoke screens and ultimately operating the gun. An enormous effort for a single weapon. Unsurprisingly, Nazi propaganda touts the cannon as a marvel of military engineering.
Und das ist die neue schwere deutsche Artillerie. Aufzüge und Schienenanlagen befördern die gewaltigen Geschosse zum Rohr. Diesem massierten Feuerhagel werden auch die letzten Festungswerke von Sevastopol auf die Dauer nicht standhalten können.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. They sound really like aggressive, right? These Germans.
After 3 days of assemblage, Heavy Gustav is finally ready to fire. This is Fort Stalin. For days, Soviet soldiers have endured relentless shelling. But they remain steadfast, sheltered behind massive concrete walls. At 4:30 p.m., they hear a massive explosion ripping through the air from a distance. The Soviet soldiers don't know it yet, but at this very moment they are the target of the largest cannon ever built. A 7-ton armor-piercing shell is now hurtling toward them, easily capable of blasting through all their defenses. Even the massive concrete walls of Fort Stalin are no match for a weapon of this scale.
Oh my god, did they actually hit
But
them?
then, nothing happens. The shell misses, slamming into the ground about 120 meters away from them. The Germans need almost an hour to reload their gun. Another shell is fired.
Dude, an hour and it just misses again probably, right? No way. This is like peak inefficiency. That's crazy.
And misses again, this time by 150 meters.
That's insane.
Then another. And another. This is an official list of every shot fired on day 1 and how far they were off target. The next one is marked as a hit. But later, when search teams scan the area, they find no conclusive evidence of an actual impact. By the end of day 4, only 5 shells remain. They are all fired on day 5. And not a single one finds its mark. And just like that, they're out of ammo. Heavy Gustav has fired a total of 48 shots, a staggering 360 tons of ammunition. The official records claim 3 of them hit their target, but even that is debatable. The only confirmed hit was an underground ammunition depot. And
Okay.
that was probably luck. What was supposed to be a terrifying mega weapon turned out to be a massive and utterly useless monstrosity. There had already been doubts about the cannon's accuracy before it was first deployed. Some Nazi military officials suspected that the chances of actually hitting a target would
And that's the problem with these freaks like Adolf Hitler, right? That is exactly the problem. These guys want it to be built regardless because they just imagine it to be like great or whatever, you know, and that it will be, you know, when people think of this weapon, they will think of me as the great Adolf Hitler, the great leader who, you know, invented it or whatever, who made warfare something new or whatnot, you know. And they just don't understand anything, you know. They don't understand like the problems that come with building something like this. But that they don't care either. They just are like, make it happen, you know. And they don't care about the fact that it's, you know, inefficient and stupid, basically. But there's nobody holding them accountable, and there's nobody standing up to them and telling, "Yo, Mr. Hitler, sir, that's actually bullshit." Because, you know, you don't want to say that to somebody like Adolf Hitler, because then you die.
be near zero given the insane caliber size and shooting range. But they neither had the time nor the resources for proper testing. On top of that, the barrel wore out ridiculously fast. It became completely useless after just a handful of shots. In the end, Sevastopol fell. But Hitler's mega cannon had nothing to do with it. Did nobody have the heart to tell him? Or did he simply refuse to accept the bitter truth? We don't know for sure. Despite being a complete strategic and economic disaster, Heavy Gustav still served its purpose as a flashy propaganda piece for Hitler's vision of an unstoppable German war machinery. After its first and only battle, the railway gun returned back home to Rügenwalde, in what was then West Pomerania. A few final shots were fired during a demonstration. Hitler himself was there to witness his masterpiece in action. When the Nazis lost the war, he personally ordered the cannon destroyed so the miracle weapon wouldn't fall into enemy hands. Which was probably a complete waste of time. Oh, and if you ever wondered what it would look like if you were to fire Adolf Hitler 15 miles across Crimea from a 100-foot-long cannon barrel, well...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering about. Okay, nice video. Holy shit, claps, guys. That was really good. That was actually crazy that I've never heard about this weapon. Have you heard about this weapon? Write it down below in the comments, guys. This is another Fern video. I know it's another Adolf Hitler video and World War video, but I'm kind of like my algorithm is putting those into my feed at the moment. I'm pretty sure we're gonna pivot at some point to something else. Thank you for watching. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Tschüss.